Hello, I'm Jina Kim, your host for the GEOVISTA. From smartphones to generative AI, artificial intelligence has firmly embedded itself in our daily lives. While we marvel at the promise of technological innovation, there's also a lingering fear of the change it brings. Today with me, Jina Kim, we'll explore the world of AI. Let's start right here on the GEOVISTA. In the summer of 1956, an important meeting that would change the course of human history took place at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire, USA. Approximately 10 renowned scientists, including John McCarthy, Marvin Minsky, and Claude Shannon, gathered to discuss machines with intelligence. It was during this conference that the term artificial intelligence was first coined. The scientists who planted the seeds of AI development at Dartmouth envisioned a rosy future for artificial intelligence, predicting that machines with human-level intelligence would emerge within a decade. However, the reality was far less accommodating. At the time, computer processing speeds and storage capacities were extremely limited. Data and algorithm for AI research were also in their infancy. Due to the lack of data and computing power, problems that humans could solve in moments often took computers days to process. As research outcomes fell short of expectations, funding dwindled, leading to financial difficulties and growing criticism of AI research. By the 1980s, the focus shifted from developing general-purpose AI to solving specific problems within defined fields. This approach became known as the expert system. The goal was to program computers with expert-level knowledge so they could provide advice to less experienced users. There were some notable successes in fields like healthcare, manufacturing, and chemistry. However, these systems soon revealed their limitations. The process of programming expert-level knowledge into computers was highly complex and time-consuming. Additionally, these systems were specialized for narrow fields, limiting their applicability elsewhere. Most critically, they failed to provide solutions when users asked questions outside their programmed databases. However, AI researchers didn't give up. In the late 1990s, AI development reached a new turning point. With the advent of the internet, the world became interconnected through networks, leading to an explosive increase in the amount of data generated in digital environment. At the same time, advancements in computer performance made machine learning a more practical and feasible technology. AI research leveraging vast database sets began to lay the foundation for significant progress during this period. In 1997, a landmark event in AI history took place. IBM's supercomputer Deep Blue defeated Garry Kasparov.
For the match, I think David Levy made a prediction that Kasparov won by 6-0.
This victory marked the first time a computer had defeated a world champion in match under standard chess tournament time controls. It was a symbolic moment that proved AI could go beyond being a mere computational tool and compete with human strategic thinking. In 2011, IBM's AI system, Watson, astonished the world by defeating two of Jeopardy's greatest champions in a special 3-day competition. This demonstrated AI's capacity to understand complex questions and retrieve precise answers from vast data sets. Then in 2016, another groundbreaking challenge captured global attention. Google DeepMind's AlphaGo defeated Go world champion Lee Sedol with a score of 4-1.
Huge moment for both the world of artificial intelligence and I think the world of Go.
Go is a far more complex game than chess, requiring creativity and intuition. This demonstrated that AI could excel even in areas once considered uniquely human domains. Following these milestones, the DeepMind research team promised even greater advancements.
We hope to build on the science behind AlphaGo and to develop the next set of advanced general algorithms.
And today, we are witnessing yet another AI revolution. On November 30th, 2022, OpenAI introduced ChatGPT, marking the dawn of the generative AI era, capable of writing, conversing, and even creating content like a human. Traditional AI has primarily focused on solving problems or identifying patterns through specific rules or data analysis. In contrast, generative AI goes beyond processing given information. It generates entirely new content based on trained data and enhances natural interactions with humans. ChatGPT, for example, has learned from vast amounts of data, enabling it to produce creative and useful responses on a wide range of topics. This allows it to respond more precisely to human intentions and emotions. Owing to these capabilities, ChatGPT garnered significant attention for its potential to assist or even replace various intellectual activities. It achieved 1 million users within just 5 days of its launch. However, its immense potential comes with limitations and risks. Earlier this year, Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, and often referred to as the father of ChatGPT, also emphasized the importance of thorough preparation for AI's rapid development.
As we, the whole world, get closer to very powerful AI, I expect more strange things, and having a higher level of preparation, which is who gets to decide what those values are, and what the defaults are, what the bounds are, how does it work in this country versus that country, what am I allowed to do with it versus not. So that's a big societal question.
It may seem as though AI appeared out of nowhere, but for nearly 70 years, AI has been evolving and taking on various forms alongside us. Now, AI has grown beyond being a mere technological advancement. It has become a tool and partner for realizing human dreams. What forms will AI take as it continues to shape our future? Yes, we've just reviewed the history of AI from its inception to the present. Now we'll discuss whether AI technology can become more than just a trend and serve as a major turning point for economic growth. Joining us is Professor KimJihee from the KAIST School of Business and Technology Management, who specializes in studying AI's growth and its impact on inequality. Welcome, Professor Kim.
Thank you for having me today.
So AI has been deeply ingrained in our society, right? I'm using ChatGPT for my research and translating, but there are global companies investing huge amount of money in generative AI. Right. So my question is, how are they leveraging AI to transform their businesses?
So the investment at the large scale, it's really big capital investment. I heard that OpenAI and Microsoft, they are gonna invest $100 billion to build a data center just to train their model. And they're gonna consume electricity as much as millions of homes. So they are planning for it. So that level of investment, they are done by those AI companies because they want to build their own model, they want to manage their own data. They want to do better than their competitors. So like Google is spending that much money. And so the AI companies like OpenAI or the the companies that want to transform into AI companies like Google, Meta, Facebook, Amazon, they are investing that much. But other traditional companies, not just AI companies, I think they are still figuring out how to use like generative AI for their diverse range of business operations, like from hiring, HR, evaluating their employees, like communication within a company, like marketing, sales, all these different business operations. Each of them, to use AI into each of these operations, AI needs to be like customized in their needs. And it's taking much time. There was a survey came out last July. So the survey was distributed over 2,500 workers in English-speaking countries, including some of them in the management position, like decision-making management position. So the managers, they answered, they have really high expectation over generative AI. They think it'll boost their workers' productivity, and they want to invest in, they want to train people. But what's surprising is the workers' answers. Almost 80% of the workers, they say because of the generative AI, it's taking much more time to do their work. Maybe the quality has improved, but the time itself, it's delaying. They feel it as a burden. And like half of them, they don't really know how to figure things out, to really use AI in their productivity boost. So I think changes are on the way, but it's not really visually showing yet. And people are just trying to figure out in like non-AI companies. Okay, I think that's the status right now.
Okay, that's very interesting. Many people very much interested in AI's impact in our economy. And obviously, investment banks think AI can bring about some economic wealth, whereas some economists think, well, it's not the case. So what's your perspective?
Many economists, including me, agree on the fact that AI will definitely, it'll bring us economic growth, but we differ from those investment bankers by how much, the size of the impact, or the speed of the impact, or like when we'll eventually see the impact in macroeconomic numbers. And another thing is it's really hard for economists to agree on something, but this issue is we agree on. So what we expect is AI will definitely contribute to the economic growth, but in the extent that it will contribute some part to 2% annual economic growth. So 2% is a very important magic number because US economy has grown over the more than 100 years on the average annual growth rate of 2%, which means all this general purpose technology, all these groundbreaking technology inventions from electricity, automobile, internet, and PC and everything just gave us 2% economic growth. But 2% may sound a little bit small, but once you think about it, it's like quite big. It's like interest rate in your savings account. If your interest rate is 2% in your savings account, your money in the bank will double every 35 years. That means if our economy grows at the 2% rate, then our economy will double every 35 years. That's a remarkable change. But the thing is that all these general purpose technology, groundbreaking inventions, they brought us 2% growth. And AI will do the same thing. But that means AI will not give us like 10% economic growth right now. I don't think that'll happen. It'll give us sustainable economic growth as before. Without AI, we may not be able to do it, but it's still contributing, but not as much as people kind of like is excited about, like that much. Another thing is like the actual timing that we are going to see the real macroeconomic impact will be much later. I don't think it'll be like 10 years later. I think it'll take like 20 or 30 years later that we'll actually see the impact of economic growth. Why? Because it's GPT. All these GPT technology inventions, on average, they took 30 years to really show impact in our economy. Like think about electricity. Electricity was invented. Then people have to kind of like build all the infrastructure to deliver electricity to our homes. And factories should be reorganized to use electricity in a very efficient way. It takes time. So human society and human organizations and physical space has to change to adapt to this technology. And I think AI will be the same as well.
Okay, then let's take this issue to the level of geopolitics.
Okay,
Currently, the US and China are investing huge amount of money in AI technology. Especially China is leading government-funded investment. So does that mean that the benefits of AI development will be concentrated on, just a small number of leading countries, while leaving others far behind?
Yeah, as you said, in AI technology, US has a strong dominance, and China is right behind it. Surely those US and China, because of they have foundational model, the very foundations of all the AI technology, I'm pretty sure they will get the most benefit. But let's start from these developing nations. For the developing nations, although they may not have the AI backbone technology, because AI is GPT, you can use it to do many things. You can build services on top of it, and you can improve your productivity on that. So although you do not have the model, all these different services, you can improve your productivity in every corner of the economy. So if developing nations figure out how to use it for their, not the core technology, but the applications of it, I think they can benefit. And also, because the good thing about AI is it lowers the skill required for a certain task. You don't really have to know much. Because thanks to generative AI, they will tell you the important details. You just follow them a little bit. They narrow down the skill gap, which could be opportunity for the developing nations. The problem is South Korea. We are not a developing nation, so we are one of the leading countries, but not in the top leading group as US and China.
Somewhere in the
Yeah,
middle.
somewhere in the middle. But we have some high technology. But like same as developing nations, if we figure out how to use AI model to kind of boost up our productivity in every corner of the economy, we'll definitely benefit. But then we want more, closer to the technological frontier. South Korea, I think, it has a great potential because it's the very unique country that has all the elements that's essential for AI ecosystem. Meaning we have semiconductor.
Yes.
We have cloud and computer services. We do have AI models. Some companies have AI models, like Naver and LG, they have AI models. And we also have some applications, many startup companies trying to figure things out. So we have all these different elements that's required for AI ecosystem. This is a very rare condition to have. Not many countries have these settings.
Sure.
So we have all this potential, but all these elements, we are not the strongest. I think that's the problem. So I think we have to, like, in terms of resource allocation and the policy support, or the research effort should be kind of like put in the right direction to really utilize or realize our potential to be maybe not the first and second, but maybe the third. So I'm hopeful.
All right, great to hear that. So, but still, there can be some, skepticism about using AI, by the way, because there are some who are arguing that they had to recheck all the information generated by AI, and sometimes AI gives us some nonsensical answers, right? So how do you think about the credibility issue?
Oh yeah, they're not credible at all. So if you're checking the answers coming from generative AI, you're using it in the right way. So you shouldn't be really trusting the answers coming from generative AI at all. You should always doubt. To understand this, you have to understand how the generative AI technically work. Once you ask a question or instructions to generative AI, what they do is they just spit out a sequence of words that are statistically highly likely to come in or to follow in the context given by you to AI. They just spit out the answers based on the data they are trained on. So they are statistical, they are probabilistic, which means in the first place, they are not designed to be used for factual checking, factual answers. So they are designed to generate contents, not to check the factualities.
Okay.
So if you're using it for factual answers, then you are using it wrong. You're using it incorrectly. So you will really have to use it for generate something, as the name suggests. But I know that there are some technical efforts by computer scientists or engineers and companies that are trying to find technical solutions to have more factuality in the model. I value their effort. The problem is they are adding those reliability and factual devices on the top of the fundamental model that is inherently statistically working. So they are adding those devices on the surrounding this foundation model, which still has problems in it. So it cannot be perfect. That leads to the responsibility of the end user. So I think as an end user, we have to have increase or improve AI literacy, how to use it better, what not to do, what to do. So AI literacy will be really important.
But that will take time.
Yeah, it'll take time. Yeah, it'll take time.
Yeah, another issue is actually ethical issue because when Google AI was asked about the solutions for aging society, then the answer was like, humans are a burden to our society, so should disappear. Right, that's does not make any sense, right? No. So many people are doubting about the independent judgment of AI technology. Is there any way to design AI in a more sensical and ethical to a certain degree?
Yeah, I think the answer is yes, and it requires like a multi-dimensional collaborative effort from all different stakeholders in the society. I want to start with the legal side first. So AI regulation and law. The European Union recently, they have the AI Act, which is really strong regulation. They were in effect from last August. And the US, they have the President Biden's executive order last year to kind of ensure the safe and trustworthy AI. And South Korea, like just 2 weeks ago, they passed the very first AI law, not the main National Assembly, but by the committee in the National Assembly that's in charge of science and ICT and communications. They passed the first ever AI law that has some regulation in it, although it's very weak, but I think it's a good first step. So this legal side working is very important because they affect companies' incentives. So moving to the companies' effort, Google, like OpenAI, like Meta, for them, it's a big risk for them as well. So they have to manage it, not just for their reputation, but financially, because of the legal side, it could be financially very large if they mess up things. So what they do internally is many big companies like Google and Facebook, they have risk management team to kind of like take care of those issues of their AI model. Including what's called red team. It's something the military people do. They simulate any potential attacks to AI models or any potential scenarios that you just mentioned. They're trying their AI model for these different scenarios, different questions. They can kind of like deal with the potential issues like this you mentioned. So that's the corporate effort. And there's also technical effort that like scientists and engineers and some companies are doing is they're working to kind of like engrave those ethical values inside of the model. So they are working on it. I want to be hopeful. In the future, we may be able to see it. But I think that this technical solution is not perfect. It can be better, but it's not perfect. So that comes down to, again, AI literacy by end users. So all these different efforts from different stakeholders should come together to make AI more sensible, reliable, and ethical.
Yeah, like you said, there are lots of challenges and, of course, opportunities ahead of us.
Right.
I think that's all for today's discussion. Thank you for being with us and sharing your insights.
Thank you.
Finally, let's explore AI-related issues happening around the world with me through some visuals. In a church in Lucerne, Switzerland, an AI-powered hologram of Jesus has been introduced. Visitors engage with the digital representation, sharing their thoughts and questions. While some view this as a modern and accessible approach to spirituality, others see as a violation of religious sanctity, sparking backlash among traditional believers. Ethical concerns have also been raised. Elon Musk announced his ambition to develop xAI into the world's most advanced AI company. xAI is a company he founded in July last year to rival OpenAI. He plans to expand data centers through large-scale investments and introduce consumer-facing services similar to ChatGPT. The photo you are looking at shows trailer trucks lined up to cross from Mexico into the United States. President-elect Trump has announced plans to impose a 25% tariff on Mexico after taking office. This move is expected to significantly affect the AI supply chain of Taiwanese companies operating there. Taiwanese semiconductor companies have established operations in Mexico to take advantage of its proximity to the U.S. market and lower labor costs. However, increased tariffs could reduce the price competitiveness of their products and lead to additional cost burdens. While changes in the semiconductor market may present opportunities for Korean companies, the broader impact of Trump's protectionist trade policies could be far-reaching. That is all for today. Next week, we'll continue to guide you through the complexities of the global landscape and provide fresh insights. Thank you for joining us. This has been Jina Kim for the GEOVISTA.